Thank you, President Daniels. Now it's my distinct honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Dennis Bland. Mr. Bland is president of the Center for Leadership Development, an Indianapolis nonprofit organization empowering African American youth to the highest college and career success. His background includes numerous roles in education, including chairman of the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. He serves on the Indiana Education Roundtable on the executive committee of the Indiana Education Alliance. Mr. Bland received his Juris Doctorate degree from the Indiana University Robert H. McKinney School of Law. He's a member of Christ Temple Apostolic Church, where he serves as a deacon, trustee, and 8th grade Sunday school teacher. Graduates, absolutely, the 8th graders need him. Graduates, colleagues, and friends, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Dennis Bland.
I'm feeling a little sick, and I need Miss Hegwood to sing again. I can see it now, all the students run into the nursery saying, I need somebody to sing to me. How beautiful. Thank you very much for the introduction, and good morning. I'd like to first give thanks and honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is the head and the love of my life. The center of my joy and the reason for my hope. To President Daniels, Chancellor Vanden Bosch, administrator, staff, family, and friends, I bring you greetings. Of course, I give special greetings to our 2019 graduating class. Congratulations. I'm really humbled by your accomplishment because I understand what it takes. And trust me when I say I understand, it's more than a word. I am profoundly humbled and honored to have been asked to serve as your commencement speaker. Thank you so very much. I also want to give a special, sincere salute to the veterans of our armed forces. I thank you for your service. Purdue Global graduates. College graduations remind us of just how talented, bright, and brilliantly endowed you and so many people throughout our society are. Have you taken stock of the breadth and depth of abilities that abound among us? We send rockets to the moon and place men and women in space. We build and program computers and invent the most amazing software. We invent well, we do Broadway productions well, we do startups well, we write well, we golf, engineer, run, jump, compute, strategize, invest, and build well. America's got talent. Yet, graduating class, for all of our talents and expertise, there is an issue that we as a nation are not handling well. I am periodically asked, what keeps you up at night? There's an issue that keeps me up at night, sometimes with tears filling my pillow as I lie in bed. So I guess you could say, I wet the bed. An article appeared in the April 9th edition of the Indianapolis Star entitled, Indianapolis Grieves Over Deadly 24 Hours. This heart-wrenching article recounted that 7 deaths had occurred in Indianapolis within a 24-hour span. And as you all well know, this is not just an Indianapolis problem. Whether you're watching TV at a cousin's house in Vicksburg, Mississippi, overhearing a conversation at a restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee, catching the local news in a hotel room in Miami, Florida, or reading the newspaper in a rural Kentucky or Washington state, the headlines and reports share a common denominator: murder. Violence and death are ubiquitous. Our society has developed a death orientation, where killings are becoming our society's default setting for human interaction. To express my heart's anguish, I have found myself even remixing a childhood nursery rhyme. Old America had a country, E-I-E-I-O, with a shooting here and a domestic violence there. Here a death, there a death, everywhere a death, death. For all of our nation's enterprise, genius, and high marks, we have also become prolific at killing. Right now, humankind is flunking its most basic and fundamental exam, literally knowing how to live. Graduating class, I am specifically soliciting then your help. While today's Indianapolis forecast is 85 degrees, you Purdue Global graduates will today earn 623 degrees. That means you all are on fire. Meanwhile, society is Arctic cold. What's going on in our society, and how will we respond to this serious crisis? How do we overcome this death orientation? The answer, at least, may be simple. We must live, L-I-V-E. And LIVE is an acronym representing quintessential principles which society must urgently redeploy if our country is ever going to advance life. As you plan your return home, I humbly recommend that you pack 4 more items into your suitcase. Now, these additional items are designed for the suitcase of your soul. The first letter is I and stands for integrity. People of integrity are committed to being true, whole, and authentic. This means there are no multiple faces. People of integrity say, I refuse to live a double life. I am tired of living one life in your presence while living a totally different life through Facebook and Snapchat. I am no longer willing to engage in the wasteful life of talking east while walking west. Whenever we lack integrity, we are not interested in meeting the bar of truth as much as we are interested in deceiving people into believing we are. Instead of expending all of my energy, time, and resources trying to convey who I truly am, I spend my time and energy trying to make you believe something that is not. As a society, we are becoming eerily expert in putting on a massive front. Hollywood can learn lessons from us. We have forsaken integrity for secrecy and subterfuge. Man, I can trick my mom, dad, my teacher, my boss, everybody. In fact, it's kind of scary because I have even begun to trick myself. Any wonder that a group named Backstreet would gain national and international acclaim? When we are authentic, people and relationships grow. When we are not, relationships and people decay and die. The next letter in our acronym is V, which stands for virtue. Whenever the word virtue is used, it usually bears a strong connotation to another word, a word which has apparently become taboo. I may even get in trouble for saying it now. The word is morality. That was good. People of virtue and morals have a fierce loyalty to principle and truth. They are dedicated to identifying and following those critical lines of distinction which we use when judging whether behaviors are good or bad, true or false, a virtue or a vice. Now, do we have absolutely no appetite or tolerance for these right versus wrong or good versus bad distinctions? Whenever these lines of separation disappear, the result is confusion and injury. What if you went to Mount Rushmore only to discover that the faces of Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, and Roosevelt were literally indistinguishable? Or can you imagine all drivers on the streets of New York City simultaneously seeing and reacting to the same street light color, green? This is life without virtue and morality. Whenever immorality is given public sanction and acceptance, then those behaviors and mores which conscientious and humane people value will disappear, while the behaviors which a civil society detests will thrive. Whenever a society insists on a nefarious culture, that culture will come with a tremendous price tag: violence, abuse, and death. Without the precious boundaries that virtues and morals provide, we are effectively messaging to society that there really is no material difference between a philanthropist and a misanthropist. Yet, we should know better. For it is the philanthropist who says, "I want to help humanity out," while the misanthropist says, "I am planning to take humanity out." There will be morality in society, or there will be no society. Virtue, please. The final letter in the acronym is E, which stands for ethics. Ethics dictate whether or not I choose to honor and uphold a certain standard or code of conduct. Ethical people are always looking to the book as a frame of reference in determining whether or not their conduct is right or wrong. Moreover, ethics are crucial because decisions made often reflect on an entire group of people. Therefore, people of ethics ask, will my actions elevate the public standing of the entire profession with which I am associated, journalism, coaching, law, medicine, faith, business, nursing, or will the group be disgraced by my actions? There, L-I-V-E. Now, I hope you're thinking, hey, you skipped the L. This is true. The L is missing. The L in L-I-V-E stands for love. So, yes, I skipped love. Love is missing indeed. Yet, as it turns out, I am not alone. Seems not only me, but America as a whole has skipped love. Graduates, to help transform and heal society, love is the bedrock tool we must pack and share within our sphere of influence. Our society's turnaround begins, continues, and ends with love. Love is paramount because love is life and love is life-giving. Love transforms and renews. Love is the answer. We need love. We are desperate for it. Love is humanity's supreme antidote to death and killing. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, love is the most durable power in the world. It is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. We cannot truly live without love. After all, love is that essential wellspring out of which integrity, virtue, and ethics emanate. Do you remember the song Jackie DeShannon sang, "What the world needs now is love, sweet love"? You all may be too young. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Well, when the song was released in 1965, it went to number 7 in the U.S. charts. But interestingly, it went to number 1 in Canada. Interestingly, today the U.S. murder rate is 23 times higher than Canada's. Our murder rate per million is 3 times higher, and rapes in the U.S. are 147 times higher, 84,767 versus 576 in Canada, according to 2017 data. Now, here's the rub. The word love may be at once the single most utilized and most abused word in the human lexicon. In other words, as a society, we talk a good game. In a recent Indy Star article, 2 men were convicted of killing their lady friends. When interviewed from prison, both were quoted as saying, "I loved her so much." The Wisconsin poet Archibald MacLeish summarized this perverted brand of love with this quote: "To love love and not its meaning hardens the heart in monstrous ways." In other words, MacLeish would tell us today's so-called love is kind of spooky. Much of what passes for love today is monstrous and murderous. Honey, you know I love you so very much. Yes, I know. And the last time you expressed your love to me, I spent 3 months in ICU. It appears modern love has become humanity's Trojan horse, beautiful and exquisite outwardly, yet inwardly full of death. In fact, if 70 is the new 60 and if 50 is the new 40, then evil is the new love. Today's love just bears a striking resemblance to yesterday's evil. Evil as in extreme violence and impostering love. Sadly, our society seems entrapped by ersatz or fool's gold. Turns out while we are talking love, we are simultaneously racking up record death counts. Hey, look, the amazing stash of gold I found. I'm an instant millionaire. Man, this is incredible. Sorry to disappoint you, bub, but that's not gold. That's fossilized manure. Such is today's love. Clearly, we need real love. Someone may be thinking, help, this fake love is scary. Has anyone seen true love? Will real love please stand up? Help! Well, true love suffereth long and is kind. Love envieth not, love vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, speaketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things, love never faileth. Now abideth these three, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. You've heard of Mount Everest and Mount Rushmore, I'm sure. Well, I am on a personal journey to scale Mount Lovemore. 2019 Purdue Global Graduates. There you have all four principles that empower us to live: love, integrity, virtue, and ethics. Now, what is your pleasure? As you know, our respective states carry different nicknames. California's nickname is the Gold State, the Golden State. Alabama's nickname is Heart of Dixie. Well, welcome to Indiana, where our nickname is Crossroads of America. How fitting that Indiana is called the Crossroads of America, because we stand not only at the crossroads of America, but we as a society stand at our own crossroads in America. When we arrive at a crossroads, we have to turn left or turn right, but we cannot do both. If I want to drive from Indy to Los Angeles, 70 West will take me there. However, what I cannot do is take 65 South to arrive in Los Angeles. I can drive to Los Angeles, or I can take 65, but what I cannot do is both. I must choose. Now, 65 would lead me to a lot of neat places, but one place 65 South would never, ever lead me is to Los Angeles, California. If I take 65 South, the best of LA I can ever experience is Lower Alabama. Our entire nation is at a serious crossroads, and we too must choose. So often, when there's been a murder or other shocking act in our nation, we often hear or read or even say, "It was so senseless," or "It doesn't make sense." Here's a news flash. This precious human commodity called sense does not magically appear out of thin air. Sense and sound rational behavior is not to be mistaken for weeds, germs, or taxes. Sensible thinking and conduct does not just randomly appear. If we reject virtue and morality, then expect no compass mentis or soundness of mind. If we have no integrity and true love, then we should only reasonably expect senselessness and nonsense. Sensibleness must be earned. This is true whether you're talking about an individual or a nation. As it stands, our culture routinely rejects and even mocks those necessary undergirding principles and teachings which lead to rational and sensible social behavior. We only fool ourselves if we believe that we can harvest sensible, rational behavior even as we promote and celebrate conduct and personalities that foster and yield senseless, antisocial, and sociopathic behaviors. Senseless is expecting a harvest of tomatoes and corn when we have not planted any. Menticide often begets homicide. Live. Perhaps our nation's single greatest entitlement program is one that deludes us into believing that we are automatically entitled to a harvest, though we have not sown. C.S. Lewis poignantly noted out our society's crossroads delusion. Said Lewis, in a sort of ghastly simplicity, we have removed the organ and demand the function. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. We castrate and bid the gelding to be fruitful. One of the most admired figures in all of American sports lore is George Herman Ruth, Babe Ruth, the Sultan of Swat. This is how Babe Ruth described his crossroads in life. Looking back on my youth, I honestly don't think I knew the difference between right and wrong. As I look back now, I realize that knowledge of God was a big crossroads for me. I got one thing straight, that God was the boss. As a nation, while we appear committed to being savants in science and engineering, there does not seem to be any urgency around how to live. I look forward to revising my nursery rhyme words to say, old America had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, with a love, love here and a peace, peace there. Here a life, there a life, everywhere life, life. Purdue University Global Class of 2019 graduates, we stand here at the crossroads of America, and you are expected to lead society. In which direction will you choose to lead us? Will you promote a society of virtue and authenticity or not? Will it be love or hate? Will you allow our society to continue to be mired in this death orientation, or will you choose to live? Now, as you choose, just be reminded that live spelled backwards is evil, as in extreme violence and posturing love. Hence, if we decline the option to live, then grave problems await us. Pun categorically intended. What will we choose? Whatever you decide, your decision will have implications for you, your family, and our country. Such is the nature of leadership. 2019 Purdue Global graduates, I hope you will choose to live, live, live. Congratulations and continued success and blessings on you all. And oh yes, one more thing. One more thing. I love you. Boiler up. Thank you. Godspeed and peace.